Anyway, this was obviously an intense game with Georgia winning 33-18. I was the only one to pick Georgia.
Wait, say it again.
33-18, winning 33-18. That's right.
Just want to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Okay.
I've
been conditioned to be on the losing end of that for a lot of time, so I want to make sure I wasn't dreaming.
Hey,
every
there with
Georgia
you.
fan woke up Tuesday morning thinking, "Was this a dream?" Am
Exactly.
I
wrong? I woke up the same way.
I did have to think about it for a little bit. Yeah, I'm there with you.
Nightmares are dreams too.
I told because Matt and I watched the game at a restaurant here close by, and I believe it was in the third quarter. And I looked at Matt and I was like, "Dude, this is not good for my heart." I was like, "It's just insane." But like,
neither was the buffalo chicken dip. But
well, this is true. We were just talking about that earlier, and I can't say no to it. I'm not gonna lie, but the first half,
likes to live dangerously.
That's right. The first half was wild. I mean, like. It felt like one of those deals where the game was like on the edge of a knife, ready to just fall full force, like one way or the other. Both offenses, it's like they couldn't loosen up. It was 9-6 at half, which, by the way, apparently the strategy to beating Bama is you need to be losing at halftime, not winning. So I don't know if that's
should have been a bad omen for Jesse when it was 9-6.
It was. I kid you not.
Should have been a bad omen.
Brought up. Someone was like, "This reminds me of the LSU game of 2011." I was like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up."
And I actually have that in my notes here, reminiscent of the 2011 regular season game between them.
Well,
but yeah,
and it's funny to compare to that too, because that was the 9-6 game was in regular season, and we obviously lost to LSU at home. I was there; it was awful. And then we went on to be in the national championship with them. We were still in the BCS era at that point. And they didn't get past the 50-yard line. We dominated them. And so it goes back to that, what we were talking about last week. It's so hard to beat a team twice in one season. You've seen each other. You're more comfortable. It's super hard. So going into this game, I had those nerves because we had beaten them already. And I just wasn't sure that we'd be able to do it again. And obviously we didn't. So
can't do it.
I'd say that was the best defense I'd ever seen, the 2011 defense, before the revolution of football spinning up. And now I think it's our defense. But I give credit to Bama, that 2011 defense. We watched film on them. They were nasty, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously on a big pass play earlier in the second quarter, Jamison Williams went down with an injury. It turned out to be a torn ACL. Likely had a big impact on the game. But like I was telling Matt, even when it happened, I was like, I just kept thinking about like all the players that have come off the bench for Bama to beat us over the years. And I was like, in my mind, the defense, the offense, nobody can relax right now. Just because a playmaker is out, like that doesn't mean anything.
So sad.
Thankfully, early diagnosis seems to indicate that with surgery, Williams will make a full recovery and not lose his speed. So, keep that stock as well. So second half was like a different animal, though. Like both teams loosened up a little bit. It seemed like Georgia began to run the ball with some success in the third. But to me, the huge turning point in this game was after the Stetson Bennett fumble, which I thought was a really tough call, which set up Bama super short field, resulted in a 3-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Young to Cameron Latu to make it 18-13. After the failed 2-point conversion with 10-14 left in the game. But to me, the biggest moment was right after that, where instead of trying to be conservative, right, Stetson's just made a mistake. Instead of trying to be conservative, Monken opened up the playbook and let him throw it all over the field on the very next drive, finishing with that 40-yard touchdown pass to Mitchell to make it 19-18 Georgia after, the failed 2-point conversion as well. But Georgia was able to get a stop right after that, come back down, and like that, the design of that pass play to get Bowers open over there on the left. Oh man, that was fantastic. And
tight ends, baby.
Yes, I was going to say, I knew you could
tight ends,
that.
baby.
So that got the lead to 26-18 with 3:33 left in the game. Still one possession game though. Like I was telling Matt, like I'm still not relaxing. I was like,
Jesse sees what's coming. And
it's a one possession.
I know the ending of the story. I hate this story.
And I was like, I am not.
Hey, Jesse, you know what I hated? I hated second 26 for 5 years, but you're gonna have to deal with it because that's what big girls and former champions do. Former champions.
Right. But yeah, it's like don't relax. but Bryce Young tried to lead him down the field to tie it. But on a 3rd and long, he threw one. I think he probably wouldn't attempt that one again, looking at the coverage. And it was intercepted by freshman Keely Ringo, who gathered a convoy, who escorted him to the end zone to kind of put the game away.
But you mean this play?
That's the one right there.
You mean that one, right? Okay.
That's the one. I
Okay,
recognize that.
I just want to make sure that was the right play you're talking about. Okay. Cool.
Now I know David Pollock said he looked up in the stands right after this, and like over half of the grown adults in the stands are just in tears, because it's been 41 years, right, with heartbreaking losses and what seemed like newly invented ways to lose every time. But man, like, what a story for Stetson Bennett. As I mentioned before, like, he's been doubted by people his entire career. I've even, doubted him, of course, as it's, documented on this show. But I do think that he was the guy for the moment, obviously, not just because he won, but because, he's the guy who got him there. I felt he deserved it. I mean, how could you do anything else? But he's a 2-star recruit who is ranked 104th in the national QB recruiting rankings and 2,569th overall. Like, those numbers are such outliers in comparison to the other national championship winning quarterbacks in recent memory.
Hey, still ranked higher than me.
Well, I mean, it's like, when you look at the stats of other championship winning quarterbacks, like, this is the huge outlier. I don't know if we're going to see something like this, at least anytime soon. Of course, who knows, but it still seems surreal to me. And with that, I'm done. That's all I've got for now.